men that took part in the Deaflympics in Brazil, Caxias do Sul, where we had an opportunity after qualifying for the Deaflympics games. We had an opportunity in our pool. We had 5 teams, which was tagged as the pool of death, because all the major teams that were expected and were the favorites to win were in that pool. There was US, we had Poland, there was Israel, there was Argentina, and us. And we lost all the games, but our first game was more of a shocker to us, because the way we lost to USA was badly. We lost by a very big margin, by almost 90 something points. Yeah. And from there we had a meeting with the boys, and we discussed and we worked on our mistakes, and each and every game that we faced on from there, everyone actually said that Team Kenya had improved, because every day was a better day for us. Though we lost all the games, to me, I cannot say that we lost the games. I can say that it was a learning curve for Team Kenya. The experience, the exposure that the men's team got is immense. Actually, was immense and priceless, because moving forward from here, we are not gauging ourselves with African teams. African teams, no. Now we're working and gauging ourselves with European teams that are more exposed, because you find like Team USA, Iran, Ukraine, Poland, all these other teams that we faced, they were extremely exposed, because they have a league of their own they're playing. Unfortunately for my team, there's no league. There are no teams they play for. So after such a competition that they had, let's say during the qualifiers, they had Africa qualifiers that they won, they just go and sit. They're not engaged actively. So that becomes a hindrance in terms of exposure and continuity. And basketball is a game of habit. The more you play, the better you become. And moving forward from here, what you've planned is to get these players into hearing teams, as the federation is sorting itself to have a league of its own for the deaf. But before that, I'm trying to talk to coaches from various teams in the hearing clubs to get them. Like Kisumu, Lakeside, there are some 2 players. There's some 2 players who already I know they're interested in. Yeah, that is James Odhiambo and Ogogo. James was the best rebounder in the entire Deaflympics team, competition for basketball. That means we have talent. Yeah, he was scouted by the USA coach. He wants him to go to the US for like 6 months program. That means we have talent. It's just that we need to have a program that will keep them engaged and actively participating in basketball, because our biggest problem was exposure and experience. Yeah.
Coach,
yes, please.
according to you, the experience and everything yesterday, the players and coaches were saying we got to enjoy Ugali and everything. What was the weather and everything?
Yeah. Well, there were some days that whenever they would prepare ugali for us, I would really like have that home feeling, And I remember we had ugali just the night before we played Israel, and man, I wish we'd be doing that every time, But to put ugali aside, the weather was pretty cold for us. Even training was tricky, because in Caxias do Sul, from the onset of our arrival, it was winter. So you find, coming from this side of the world and and having our kind of weather, and going to the other side, it was tricky for us. It was really tricky, because it took us long to warm, and also getting players from the bench into the game. It was a tough situation, but I'm proud and happy to say that I never saw a sign of despair in the team's faces. Yeah. Thank you.